Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center. It's always great to see you, to be here. The sign comes up on the screen and says live, and then everything changes. But that's the feeling of this life. It's always live. It's always exciting. It's always fun. It's an extraordinary life. And I'm happy to be sharing it with you, to be living it myself, to be enjoying it with you, and to be pointing to it constantly. Not necessarily by my words or by my look off in a direction, but by my life, which is first for me, to enjoy it, to follow where I'm led. And if I happen to transmit that to someone who's walking by, it's a bonus. And as you go further down the road, you realize that that's a part of your destiny. And you begin to know the effect you're having. And this life and the things we have transcended, passed by, are incredible. I was just teaching a lesson a few minutes ago, and I was helping a woman with her serve, and she said, "Wow, that tip really helped." It was a visual communication that she could receive. And she said, "I love that because that's how I receive." And I said, "Yeah, we're all different." And it's fun for me to find the thing that you can respond to and receive and take into yourself and excite you. But the bigger part of that is the uniqueness of how we're all different. We see differently, we feel differently. And so no one really can know what works for you except you until you express it. And so we have billions of different ways of doing things. Some have a similarity, some have a merging of two or three different things, but no two are the same. They may have, like I said, a similar trait, but there's no duplication ever. And it's a marvel to experience that and to see everyone in their magic, in their magnificence, in their own beauty, which oftentimes we don't see in ourselves and we may think there's something wrong with us. And then we get past that because nothing really lasts for long. But I think that's the heart of most of the trouble in relationships and interactions. Because I could have easily said to that woman, "What's wrong with you? Can't you see the words that I'm saying?" Because I only would be seeing through my world and how I receive. And she would have felt that and felt like there was something wrong with her. And that's what happens in relationships and interactions that have difficulties. Someone says, "Can't you see how I see?" And as much as you want to, you can't. And then they may think you're doing it on purpose. But there's a judgment, not a freedom, not a recognition in the uniqueness and the individuality of each person until finally they say, "I don't do it that way." And hopefully the person says, "Oh, that's great. Do it your way." But most of that comes from a perception of life through your own lens. It's like we grow up and we think everyone is doing the same thing we do, which is natural. You hear people saying, "I can see angels and other visions." And when they talk about it as an adult, they'll say, "I thought everybody did that. I didn't think it was anything different, unique, special. I just assumed the kid next to me saw the same thing I saw." And then one day you realize they didn't. But if you have a limitation on the fact that they didn't see what you could see, you lock them into trying to be like you. But when you recognize I'm different, no one sees like I see, not as a separation, but as an awareness that that's how it is. Everyone sees differently. I remember going to a concert with someone and they got upset with me because I wasn't seeing the same thing they were seeing as the concert was playing. And I remember thinking, I can't be in your head. I don't know what you're thinking or feeling. I only know what I'm thinking and feeling. And I'm happy that you're enjoying yourself. And they couldn't be happy that I was enjoying myself. And so to acknowledge each person individually, uniquely, it's like I'm delivering a song. There's rhythm, there's music, and some will resonate with the melody, Some will resonate with the sound. Some will recognize the meaning of the words and resonate with the words. And some won't resonate with any of it. And that's perfect, because everyone's singing their song, playing their music, when they speak, when they just walk into a room, having not said a word. There's music in you. There's a song being played. And all of a sudden, people will gather towards you because they resonate with your music. And other people will move in another direction because they resonate with another song. And even, as I said before, those that have a similar song, not the same. Might be one note that we go, oh, and the person next to you goes, oh, and then the next 50 notes, there's no recognition of anything that's the same. So everyone is different. It's a gift to behold an aspect of the Creator in another form, having another expression that's like a flower. One is a rose, one is a carnation, one is a lily, one is a daisy, one is just a fern. Utterly beautiful and perfect. And even though we can have a sense of what someone's going to be, I knew my daughter had unique communication abilities at a young age. It was very present for me to feel that, but I didn't know what that was going to turn into. And she thought about journalism on her own, no suggestions from me. She changed her mind. She loved art, and she became an artist and a graphic designer. But it's the communication that's always in the front of her world. And even though I know that, I have no idea of the immensity of who she is. So look around you at each person. It's immense what you're seeing, because the essence of that being is God. And there's no words to describe the multidimensionality, the eternality, the grandness, and the mystery of who is standing right before you or right next to you at any given moment. covered in a form that we call a human body, that limits us to this physical dimension. But immense nonetheless. And every day, that being has an opportunity to start anew. To go to a desired place that is their destiny and throw everything off, everything else off. That's not that. So we're propelling humanity into the magnificence of what it is. A being that cannot be fully comprehended. That will change and launch itself into perfection and take everyone with them. Chapter 9. This life is a hoot. In the meantime, your brain is fucked. An extraordinary life. We are the first of the new humans. We came to transcend the limitations of the physical world and to surpass all objections with a smile on our face and a smile in our heart. Stand in the middle of the world and jump up and down and say, "Look at me. I am free, and this physical world is my playground. I am one of the lucky ones, for I have seen that this is my destiny, to transcend all the limitations of the physical world and help others do the same. And to see your destiny is a gift that cannot be measured. The new human is being readied for the new world, and the new world is being readied for the new human. Now we're really on the move, leaving a contrail of vapor in our path for everyone to witness, which includes those that are not quite ready. Don't stand in front of this moving train or plane, for it stops for no man. Any attempt to control its movement by stalling it or blocking it, because it is not happening with you as the centerpiece of its movement, will not work. We are on the move, and there ain't no stopping us now. We can all see and feel the power of this movement, and it is beyond anyone's ability to stop it. It is a force created by an energy that has arrived at the moment in time that is the perfect time. This movement is ripping you apart from your identity, like a hurricane-force wind rips the leaves off of a tree, so that each layer of clothing that we have worn as an outer garment to produce an identity is completely blown off. And what you are left with is pure freedom, the freedom that was always yours. If you resist this force, and you can because you are sovereign, you will retain the coats of your identity which have always falsely given you the sense that you are protecting yourself, which then makes you need to control every outcome. The randomness and spontaneous nature of an energy that is all and in all cannot be controlled. It can only be experienced. Let go of it all, the control, the identity, the fear that you will be hurt, and even the knowledge of it all. We can never truly be hurt. We can never truly die. We are one with that energy. Something may sting for a while, but then it is simply kissed and made better. And we get up and continue our game of hopscotch, ring around the rosy, and hide and go seek. So know that your resistance cannot stop this force from arriving, and that unless you choose to be a passenger on the plane or train, you will watch it as it goes flying by. But not even that will be a problem, for you will just catch the next ride when it is time for it to appear. Know that you are one with the one energy. You are the infinite expression of its magnificence. You and all your complexity are the mystery of its grandness. This unknown mystery engulfs us in an incalculable perfection. Not knowing this, not living this, not being this, and the journey of remembering who you are is what this book is all about. When I say that you are that energy, I am speaking of the you that is pure spirit, pure essence, the part that is one with that energy that is in everything and that is everything. That energy is omnipresent. You are omnipresent. It is omnipotent. You are omnipotent. It is omniscient, and you are omniscient. It and all its names, Source, God, the All, are unimaginable, and you are unimaginable. It is incomprehensible. You are incomprehensible. It is infinite. You are infinite. It is inconceivable, and you are inconceivable. That energy is the ultimate mystery of existence, and it is the mystery of you and me. Who can fathom all of this? Who can know the depths of it all? Who can stand in front of this power and live? Only itself, and that is you. Today I know in part, but when the fullness comes, I will know in full, even as I myself am fully known. And as I go forward, I share what I feel, and I share what I am given to see about that energy and about the human entity. And it is the incredible beauty of balance that I am being given to see on this day. Balance between black and white, between love and hate, between right and wrong, between love and fear, between light and dark, between good and bad, between seriousness and lightheartedness, between the individual and the collective, between hot and cold, high and low, man and woman, and day and night. This balance is dynamic, conscious, and alive. It is never static because that point of balance is rarely ever in the same place. It is to the left of center or to the right of center, which becomes the new center. For when there is too much of one thing, it must produce more of the opposite thing to bring that part of our life into balance. This is happening all the time with every aspect of our being. As a spirit, we chose to come here and experience this imbalance for many different reasons, but they all lead to some form of growth and expansion. The one energy that we are a part of, that energy that cannot be known, that is inconceivable, indescribable, incorruptible, and even unimaginable, allows us to see the principle of balance within ourselves so that we can see it in everything, including that one energy. As a part of that energy, we are also inconceivable, indescribable, incorruptible, and unimaginable. It is because of this balance that we find it difficult to see ourselves in this light. That energy is always in balance, and it has no ability to self-promote or self-denigrate. It is operating within that dynamic balance at a speed far beyond the speed of light. We are able to do the same, but in the dense vibration and slow frequency of the world of matter and the world of time and space, the arrival of that balance seems to come too slow, giving us ample time to begin to self-analyze, self-criticize, and doubt. And the recognition of all this takes us back to the choice to be here and the growth and expansion that our beings gain from all the experiences of being out of balance. I remember watching an episode of the television show Seinfeld, where Jerry, the main character, one day noticed that Elaine, one of the other characters, was always too high, and George, one of the other characters, was always too low. He said that he was always in the middle. When Elaine was too high, he would calm her down, and when George was too low, he would lift him up. It was a great picture of how balance is a dynamic sliding scale and was adjusted and moved based on the moods of his two friends. This was a clear metaphor of the two characters being the opposite sides of our human psyche, and balance representing the spirit that hovers over all things and that is in all things. Balance is never affected by the slower frequency and denser vibration of the world of matter, so that it is always present to support the expansion and growth that a particular piece of that energy, in this case you, has chosen to achieve. Each one of the 8 billion beings on this planet and the billions of beings everywhere are on their unique individual search for growth and expansion. And dynamic balance is what holds it all together and allows it to happen. This whole thing is like a sci-fi movie or a great science fiction book full of characters with different plot lines and personalities, superpowers, evil intents, and heroes and villains. Very few consciously are aware that they are in this movie or story, and that they are eternal spiritual beings playing a role to grow and expand. But if you could step back and see that this is one of the ways to look at everything, for there are many ways to look at it, you will clearly see that this life is a hoot. And in the meantime, your brain, which is looking at this life from its limited view of only looking after your body, is fucked. Using that description helps to show you that there is nothing wrong with your brain. I use the language of your brain as fucked to bring humor to this description, for it makes you laugh, which allows you to agree without needing to defend, and helps you to remember that all you have to do is not use it. Let it do its job while you go and play and enjoy your life. You can have it submit its weekly hours to payroll and cut a check for its irreplaceable service. So the chapters of this book are like the chapters of the science fiction book or movie that are our life, the show. Endless pages of dialogue and intrigue, a real page turner, if you will, or a two-bag of popcorn movie that you have to watch over and over again because there was so much in it and you know you probably missed a lot of it. So through all this that I am saying, I am sending out the awareness and feeling of the existence of this dynamic balance to let you know that you are supported and seen and looked after and cared for and gently rerouted whenever necessary to take you to the place where you have desired to go to gain the experience and achieve the growth and expansion that is your destiny. You are divine, and this is an extraordinary life. And there ain't no stopping us now. Thank you, everyone, for being here and listening. I hope you felt the melody or the rhythm or resonated with the words. Or just saw yourself, however that is for you. It's an honor to write these words and to speak them to you as I'm following my destiny, which is to transcend everything that you see with your eyes, your human eyes. Cheers, everyone. And thank you for joining me. I am David.